So the difference you're seeing here between these two videos is the tone color. And the difference in chest and mixed, and the styles are different. But what I really want you to listen to is the tone color, okay? But let me tell you what that is. So tone color is an aspect of vocal timbre. So on Monday for this class, yeah, I talked to you about timbre, and that is just the general sound quality of any instrument or singer. And tone color is an aspect that contributes to the overall timbre, okay? But it makes a big, big difference, especially in singing, because we can change our tone color, unlike, instruments. Two trumpets can't have a different tone color from one another as drastically as a singer can. So it refers to what makes a particular musical instrument or human voice have a different sound from one another, even when they play or sing the same note. Okay? Singers and instrumentalists, we describe the way someone's tone color sounds by using the words bright and dark. Okay? Think of bright and dark as being on a spectrum where you can have sounds that are extreme and everything in between. Right? You've got really dark on this end, you've got really bright on this end, and then everything in between. Okay? So, in general, you want to aim to have a sound that is somewhere in between to achieve a tone that has maximum resonance and beauty. But different styles fall along this spectrum as well. For example, classical or operatic singers normally lean towards having dark sounds. That's just what the audience expects to hear. And a lot of times, if they come to an opera and hear a very bright singer, they will be upset or disappointed. That's just what people want to hear when they listen to operatic music. I could do that video, but that would be a lot more for them to watch instead of me just filming myself doing a clip of this one part. I'm trying to make the videos a little smaller, more digestible. Where was I? So, on the opposite end, musical theater / pop singers normally lean towards a bright sound. A bright sound is very forward in the face, and it often comes with a bright or horizontal type vowels. And when I say that it's focused, that has to do with a word called placement, okay? Placement is like this metaphorical way for singers to describe the way that they're using their voice and focusing their air, okay? So if I have a forward placement, that means I'm focusing my airspeed towards the front of my mouth, towards my front teeth, okay? I would go, ah. I feel my sound vibrating off of my teeth, okay? Something is considered too bright when there is not enough space in the mouth and can sound like there is tension in the sound. Something that some bright styles of music will do, like Broadway, would be to add a little bit of nasality to the sound, which sounds like this. And that's something that this person, Ethel Merman, was doing, where they lower that soft palate and allow the air to go into their nasal cavity just a little bit, and they sing a little bit through their nose. You don't want to overdo it, though, and you want to be careful when you use nasality, because as a general rule, most people don't like hearing people who sing through their nose. It's like a very slight, subtle thing that some genres use to color their sound, but normally you don't want to hear it. A dark sound is focused in the mouth or the throat, okay? So if a bright sound is forward, then a dark sound is going to be back placed. And it can be considered more muffled or woofy. Woofy meaning that it makes a woof type sound. Just go with it. Woof. That's the sound it's making. Woof, woof, the woof. A dark singer normally uses more space and vertical vowels to achieve this tone color. Something is considered too dark when there is too much space in the mouth, and it almost sounds like the sound is stuck or trapped in the throat. But whether something is too dark or too bright is kind of subjective, because it all depends on your audience and who is listening to you and what they're expecting to hear, because these two examples at the top of the module, Jesse Norman and Ethel Merman, they are very extreme examples of bright and dark. If you had to choose, okay, let's say Jesse Norman is video number 1 and Ethel Merman is video number 2. Whoops. Which one do you think would be the bright singer and which one do you think would be the dark singer? Tell me in the chat. And those that are watching this video, think in your head, what do you think it is? Okay. Is Jesse Norman using a bright tone color or a dark tone color? Just take a guess. Tell me in the chat. Yes. Thank you, Layla. Thank you. Yes. Jesse Norman is dark and Ethel Merman is bright. Because if you look at her, she's got a ton of space. If you just pause it anywhere, she's pursing those lips, which is actually a technique that lengthens the vocal tract and allows all of those formant values, the general resonance harmonic frequencies, to be lower, causing it to sound darker. That's a technique that a lot of choirs and classical singers will use, is to purse those lips. I do that a lot when I sing. And everything is just very tall, very ooh in the back. Instead of okay. You can see that she's almost frowning a lot of the time. And Ethel Merman is smiling a lot of the time, which shows the teeth. If you look on my camera, you can see it's just the smiling. And then Ethel,
the opening when your heart beats like a drum.
It's very focused, it's very forward, it's very pingy, it cuts through the sound. That's what makes it sound bright. Okay? So, but all of this is to say that this is why having a balanced sound that is focused with a lot of resonance, but also creates beauty and richness by having a good degree of space in the mouth, is important for choral singing. You want to borrow a little bit from both, because you want your sound to cut through, but you also don't want it to be harsh on the ears. And you want to have a ton of space so that you can have some richness. And so that's what we do for choral singing. Tell me, can you hear as I change notes? I'm going to try to keep the same vowel, and I'm going to use my finger to sort of show what I'm doing, right? If I point my finger forward, I'm going to go on an ah vowel. Ah. Okay, that is forward. Ah. Now I have what's called a medial placement, which is in the middle of my mouth, where I'm pointing my sound towards the roof of my mouth instead of towards my teeth. Okay, now I'm going to take it back. Ah. That's the same ah vowel. I tried to stay on the same pitch, but now it's in the back of my throat. Now I'm going to bring it all the way back. Okay? Can you hear how by just moving where I'm focusing my air in my mouth and the shape, I'm going from bright to dark. Can you hear the little changes there? Yes or no?